Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and welcome you all to news reporting course. This course has a course code of GNC 225. This is lecture number 9 and today in this lecture we are going to discuss beat reporting. I'm Anwar Khan, lecturer journalism and mass communication department, Cohort University of Science and Technology. So the points that we are going to elaborate in our today's session. So first of all, we are going to have a look at the history of the beat reporting. The students in this part will come to know about the history of beat reporting, and they will know that when it started and who started it, right? And it will be a brief and concise history of the beat reporting. And then in the second part, we are going to define beat reporting, and it is very important for the student to understand it because beat reporting it is after graduating from the university and then they are applying to different news channels, news organizations. Then over there in the interview they may be asked about the definition of the beat reporting or which beat they are interested in. So if they don't know about the very meaning of the beat reporting, then it will be very difficult and it will be a sort of awkward situation if they are sitting in the interview and they don't know about the meaning of the beat reporting, which is very common. Commonly asked by the interviewers from the interviewee. So it is necessary for the students to understand it. And then advantages of beat reporting or the beat reporters having a beat reporter. So what is or what could be the advantage of having a beat reporter in the news organization? So we are going to have a look at the advantages of this and then the skills required to be a beat reporter. Well, again, it is necessary that if our students want to become a beat reporter, so what skills they need to have in them, what skills they need to improve, right? So in this part, we are going to discuss different qualities and skills that are required to be a good beat reporter. And then beat reporting condition in Pakistan, we are going to discuss it from the perspective of the print journalism, electronic media, and from the online media. We are going to discuss it that how the situation is changing, what is the situation in the print journalism, and then we will jump into the electronic media and we will look at the uh, shape or the scenario of the journalism in television, that how the beat reporting is there. And then we are going to have a look at the online journalism, right? So we are going to compare this print journalism, broadcast journalism, and the online journalism in this part. And then finally, we are going to have a look at the types of the beat reporting. So there are different types of beat reporting, and the students will be deciding that which beat they are interested in. So we are going to have a look at it. And yes, this one is the final part. In the final part, the students we are going to briefly discuss that how the students can write stories and what are the news writing tips, that how students can develop stories, what would be the news writing style, what would be the news writing structure, right? And what news qualities will be required for developing a news story. So these are the agenda points that we are going to discuss and explain in our today's session. So historical background, let's have a look at it. According to Bagwith Morris, he says that the idea of creating beat reporting goes to Charles E. Chapin, and he was basically the person who started the idea or generated the idea of the beat reporting at the end of the 19th century in New York. And this Charles E. Chapin, he was an editor in the Evening World, which was owned by Joseph Pulitzer. And in the New York at that time, there was another person with the name of the William R. Hearst. And William Hearst and Joseph Pulitzer, they both were in competition with each other for the circulation, because both of them they wanted that their newspaper should be popular among the audience, and audience should read their newspaper as compared to each other. So the idea of the yellow journalism, it also started from there. I mean, that was actually the Joseph Pulitzer who hired a person who was a cartoonist and who used to make cartoon which was clothed in yellow dress, and that was the reason that it was called as the yellow journalism, right? So the competition between Joseph Pulitzer and William Hearst, that was on peak, and Charles E. Chapin, who was the editor with Joseph Pulitzer, and they thought that how they can capture the New York market, how they can acquire as much readership as possible. So what did the Charles E. Chapin did, that he took the map of the New York, and then he draw some patterns on it, and each of the square basically, which consisted of 3 or 4 blocks, that was given as a responsibility to each of the reporter, and each of the reporter was asked that it was their responsibility to collect information or data about happenings in those areas, and they needed to report those areas, those information to the newspaper. So they would publish it, and as a result their newspaper would be read by many people as compared to the newspaper of the William Hearst. So the credit of initiating the idea of the beat reporting is credited with the Charles E. Chapin, and there are some numerous controversial statements they are famous regarding Charles E. Chapin. According to one statement, that he was so harsh in his approach to the field of journalism. Well, that was a good sign as well, that any of the reporter or a journalist who made a single mistake, a small mistake, he was fired from the job. And therefore, it is said that during his tenure, when he was working with the Evening World, he had fired around 150 journalists from the job. So I mean, this is a great number of the people who were fired from the job, right? And similarly, he was convicted of murdering his wife, and then he was sent to the prison. But that was his personal life. But what we can know about Charles E. Chapin, according to different scholars, they said that he was one of the finest of the editors in the city, and well, that was his professional approach, and that was the reason that he did not he was not I mean he was looking for the professionalism, a professional approach from the journalist, right? And that was the reason that anyone who made mistakes, even small mistakes, they were fired from the jobs. So, first of all, let's discuss the very meaning of beat. But remember, first of all, let me make it very clear that the meaning of beat is in the field of journalism and mass communication is very much different than the traditional meaning of beat. The traditional and conventional meaning of beat is hitting or kicking someone, right? But over here in the field of journalism, it does not mean so. Over here, beat is a journalistic term, and it means that when a reporter is assigned a specific area of responsibility, right? So the statement or the sentence is very simple to understand. What happens that when a specific area is given to the reporter to collect information about that very area and compile a story of that very information and give it to the audience, this specific area is called beat. I hope that it is easy for you people to understand. And this area, it can be in the form of an institution, like it can be in the form of National Assembly or Provincial Assembly, where decisions are taking place, where different events are taking place. So what the reporter is going to do, what is the responsibility of the reporter, is that he or she will note all the information, will collect all the information and develop it in the form of a news story. Similarly, this beat can be in the form of an area, right? And it can be in the form of a small town or entire city. And it will be the responsibility of the reporter to move into the city and walk into the city and get information about the prices of different items, the prices of the fruits, and similarly different incidents and activities which are taking place in that very area. So it will be the responsibility of the reporter. And similarly, it can be in the form of a subject area. It can be in the form of science, technology, business. What different shapes or inventions or discoveries are taking place in science and in technology, right? And similarly about the businesses of the people, about the businesses of the in the country, right? So it will be the responsibility of that very reporter to collect information and give it in the form of the news to the audience. So this will be considered as a beat, right? So very shortly, we came to know about that beat is basically an area, and it which is assigned to a reporter, and that will be the responsibility of the reporter to collect information about that very area and give it to the audience. So we came to know about the history of the beat reporting, and we also came to know about the beat. But what is beat reporting and how beat reporting can be differentiated from the beat? Let's discuss in this slide. And this is very simple in the sense that reporting of beat is called beat reporting, right? So in the previous slide, we came to know about beat. That beat is basically a particular area assigned to a journalist or a reporter, and this particular area, it can be in the form of institution, or it can be in the form of geographical area, or it can be in the form of the subject, right? So this beat can be in three forms, and when you are covering and reporting about these three areas, this is basically called beat reporting, right? And this is also the difference between the beat and the beat reporting, right? When you are reporting about the beat, it is called beat reporting. In print journalism, in broadcast journalism, in online journalism, responsibility is given to a journalist to cover a specific area. For example, a crime area is given to a journalist, or a health area is given to a journalist, or let's suppose education beat is given to a journalist, that they are to cover all the data or information about the education, for example schools, colleges and university, the activities that are taking place in this area. It will be the responsibility of the education reporter, right? And this will be called as a beat reporting, and that is the reason that this beat reporting is called as specialized reporting, because over a specific period of time, a journalist or reporter will get skilled into his or her area of reporting, because he will be reporting it for a long period of time. So he will know all the places, he will know, he will have all the contact numbers, as well as the administrative people or the authorities who are working in that very specific area. So beat reporting is a specialized form of reporting, and beat reporting, or you can also call it specialized reporting. So another thing that I would like to bring into your notice is beat reporting versus general reporting, and this is again very important because it could be asked when you are applying for a job in a news organization. So they can ask you that, can you tell us please the difference between the general reporting and the beat reporting? So beat reporting basically is a specialized form of reporting, while general reporting is basically do not have any specific area. In general reporting or general beat, reporters they will cover all beats, and on daily basis they will be giving variety of stories, right? I mean, it's not that specific that you will be covering crime beat or health beat or sports beat or showbiz beat. No, it will not be like this. It will be like this, that if you are getting information or story even from any of the beat, so you will be covering all those beats, right? And what happened that when fresh journalists they graduate from the university, they join a news organization, then at that time they are considered as the journal reporters, because at that time they are going to the assembly, they are covering political events, they are covering general events, right? They are going to health activities, they are covering health events, sports events, showbiz events. So fresh reporters, right, whenever they are conducted into news organizations, they are given the responsibility to cover all those beats, and this is very important for them, because with by covering different beats, they will know that which area they are interested in more, either sports, crime, business, or which of the area they are interested in more, right? So this will help them to decide in future which area they can opt for, and they can excel in that very area. So what are the advantages of beat reporter? Why to have a beat reporter in the media organization? In this very slide, we are going to discuss all these advantages and points about the beat reporter. So the very first point is or advantage of the beat reporter is that beat reporter develops in-depth knowledge of the assigned area. We came to know about it that when a responsibility is given or a specific area is given to a reporter, so it is his responsibility to collect information about that very area and file news stories about that very area. So what happens that I will give you the example of the sports beat, and in the sports beat we have the cricket. If a reporter is given the responsibility of collecting information about the cricket matches in the city, so that very reporter will have in-depth understanding and knowledge about the different terminologies about the cricket. For example, what do we mean by Yorker? What do we mean by over pitch delivery? What do we mean by bouncer? What do we mean by no ball? And how many overs has to be bowled in the test matches? What is ODI matches, right? All these terminologies will be known to that very reporter. Then we say that beat reporter gives exclusive stories, right? So when a reporter has in-depth knowledge and understanding of that very area, so he will be able to have exclusive stories. By exclusive stories I mean byline stories, and this byline story will enhance the value and rating of that very news organization. And in the 21st century we are fighting for the rating and value, right? We want the rating of our television the highest, so that everyone watches our television. And similarly, we want our newspaper to be read by everyone. So when we have exclusive stories or byline stories in our newspaper, so everyone is going to watch or read our newspaper or television. Then we say the third advantage of the beat reporter is that beat reporter builds trust with the sources whom they visit again and again. By visiting the sources again and again, the beat reporter will have very strong trust with the sources, and these are the sources whom will give information to the beat reporter, right? And these sources can be in any form. It can be in the form of a friend, it can be in the form of a director, it can be in the form of a security guard. It can be in any form, right? So these are the three advantages of the beat reporter. So decide whether to hire a beat reporter or a journalist for your news organization. This is a question for the students to decide. If you are the bureau chief or the head of the organization, news organization, then you will hire a beat reporter or a journalist. Decide yourself. So, what are the skills or the qualities which are required for a beat reporter? Because some of you would like to become a beat reporter. So, what are the characteristics that you need to have to become a beat reporter? So, here they are. First of all, a beat reporter must have good writing skills. So, good writing skills is almost necessary in every field. There will be no field where good writing skills is not necessary. And similar is the case with the journalism. In the field of journalism, we need to have good writing skills. So this is the very first quality of the beat reporter, because if you have good writing skills, right, and if you are providing a very important information and that information is given to the audience in a very simple language, in a very coherent way, then that very information or write-up will be read by the audience. And unfortunately, if you are providing that very information, I mean very important information, in a very difficult language, and not in a well structured manner, then the audience are not going to read it out, because they will say it is not readable. So all your efforts will be useless, right? So good writing skills is the first quality, and you need to have and improve your writing skills. Then we have the second quality, which is beat reporter must have PR qualities. PR qualities over here mean that the beat reporter uh, should make people or friends as soon as possible, right? So in that perspective, we are talking about the PR qualities, that a beat reporter has the ability, has the capability of making friends a lot. Fine. So this is another quality or characteristics of the beat reporter. And remember that in the field of journalism, if you want to survive, you need to have sources. You need to have people who can give you information, who can update you, and then how you can confirm that very information, and then you can uh, compose stories, and then can give breaking news bylines, right, in the field of journalism. So you need to have sources, and this source can be in any form. It can be in the form of director. It can be in the form of a PN or superintendent or a security personnel. It can be in any form, right? So this is the very second quality. Then thirdly, we say that a beat reporter must have good communication skills, right? So good communication skills is different than the PR qualities. In the PR qualities, we are making friends, and in the good communication skills, when you have made someone friend, then at that time you are having good communication with them, right? So good communication is again very important to collect information and then develop that very information in the form of a news story. And then we say a beat reporter must be a risk taker. When you are working in the field of journalism, we know that there are numerous risks involved if you are a reporter. If you are sitting in the office, that is something else. But if you are a reporter and then you are a beat reporter and then investigative reporting, then you are taking a lot of risks, right? So a beat reporter is a risk taker, and he should not be afraid of taking the risks. And then we say a beat reporter must brave and bold, right? Because what happens that a beat reporter sometimes give very sensitive information, very critical information. Once he or she receives the information, he will confirm it, and after confirming it, having the official documents, then he or she will give that very information and publish it in the newspaper or in the broadcast media. So he need to be brave and bold, because he may face threats, he may face any sort of unpleasant incident. So a beat reporter must be brave and bold. So what are the different types of the beat reporting? So let's have a look at it. It can be in any form. Beat reporting can be in the form of sports beat, it can be in the form of crime beat, it can be in the form of business beat, entertainment and showbiz beat, education beat, health beat, political beat, assembly beat, local government beat. It can be in any form, right? And the list of it continues. So beat reporting, there is a long list of beat reporting, and then once you are inducted into the news organization, you will be asked about the beat that you are interested in, whether you want to work in the health beat, or you want to work in the education beat, or you want to cover stories in the crime or sports, right? So you will be asked by your high ups, where is your inclination, where is your tendency, right? So we came to know about different types of beat in the previous slide. We came to know about crime beat, sports beat, assembly beat. We came to know about health beat, agriculture beat, and there are numerous other beats. But the most important thing is that how you will develop your story, how you will, after collecting information, how you will write a new story. So in the coming slides, we are going to discuss this, and actually this is the main responsibility. Collection of the information is something else, and then developing that information into a new story is another responsibility of the reporters. So let's explore it, how journalists can develop a new story. So the very first thing that you need if you want to develop a new story, right? If you have the information and you want to develop a new story from it, so very first thing is news writing style. This is what you need to develop your story. And remember that we have already uploaded and made a separate video on news writing style. It is uploaded. If you have not watched this video, please go there, watch it out, because it is necessary. It is necessary in the sense that it is a practical skill. The things, the concepts, the techniques I taught you in the news writing style video, it is purely practical guide, right? And we will be practicing it as the university reopens and the normal activities resumes again. So we are going to practice it because this is the most important part of our course. So you need news writing style. And what do we mean by news writing style? It means inverted pyramid style that we have already discussed in our previous lecture. And this is basically in the form of this inverted pyramid, and this is upside down, in which the most important information is given in the beginning and in the very first paragraph, right? And then slowly and gradually we are coming down with the less important information, and then at the end of the news story we give least important information, right? So when you are talking about the very first paragraph, which is called as the lead, and you are giving the most important information, so it says that you can give the most important information in the form of the who by answering who, what, where, when, why, and how. Well, all these things we have already discussed in the previous slide. Please go there, watch it out, and you will come to know. So the second element that you need in order to develop a new story is new structure. And new structure means that your story must have a proper headline, a catchy headline, and it must have intro. I mean, your story should have intro or lead and the body of your story, right? So we have already discussed these concepts in the previous lecture, and very, I mean, comprehensively we have approached this news structure. So go there, watch it out, and you will come to know about it. So will a responsibility is given to you to develop a new story. So these, I mean, your story must have this structure. First of all, it has the headline, intro, and then we have the body of the new story. And third component that you will need in order to develop a new story is qualities of news. And these are in the form of the truth, accuracy, balance, objectivity, brevity, simple and clear, and attribution. These qualities of news, again, we have already recorded, we had already made a separate video on qualities of news, right? So these are the three things that you will be needing in order to develop a new story, to after collecting your information in order to place them together. So first of all, you will need news writing style, then you will need news structure, and then qualities of news. And one another important thing, you will be thinking that if a journalist who is working in the who is working as crime reporter, and if another person who is working as a health reporter or business reporter, so the same thing, the same pattern they will be following, or there are different patterns for different these beats. So the answer to this question is that the pattern is same for all these beats. For example, if you are working in the crime beat, health beat, sports beat, agriculture beat, whatever beat you are working in, whatever responsibility is given to you, if you are writing a new story, you are following the same these three patterns, the same three patterns: news writing style, news structure, and these qualities of news. You are going to follow these three components, right? And it is same for all the beats. So what's the condition of beat reporting in Pakistan? Well, I will give you the main idea of this very slide. And it means that if you speak about the beat reporting in Pakistan, we say that beat reporting exists in Pakistan, right? If you speak about the print media, or if you discuss the electronic media or the online media, so we do have beat reporting, but the shape of the beat reporting has been changed. It is changed in the sense that nowadays a single reporter is required to cover multiple beats. It's not only one beat that he will be covering, like it's not only the crime beat that the reporter will be covering it. He or she will be responsible, and he will be covering multiple beats. If you speak about the print media, the same situation is there. If you speak about the electronic media, the same situation is there. Over there you will be required to cover the political beat, you will be required to cover the assembly beat, you will be required to cover the health beat, education beat, right? And similarly other numerous beats. So in the print media, in the electronic media, in the online media, the same situation is there. Beat reporting is there, but a reporter is required to cover numerous beats at the same time. Resources, these are few of the resources which will help you understand beat reporting quite in detail. the first one, the second one, and the third one. And the third one is a research article, and it is in the form of PDF. It is downloadable. Download it and read it out, and you will have more understanding about the beat reporting, about the types of the beat reporting, and about the characteristics of the beat reporting. Well, thank you very much. This is the end of our today's session, and let me summarize again the concepts that we discussed in our today's session. We came to know about the history of the beat reporting. We came to know about the definition of the beat reporting. We came to know about the advantages and skills required for beat reporting, and then news writing tips. We came to know about it, and we discussed that three components we require if you want to develop a new story. We need news writing style, we need news structure, and we need qualities of news, and they are same for all the beats. If any of the responsibilities is given to you, they are the same. So thank you very much. See you in the next lecture. Till that, Allah Hafiz.